Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a first impressions on the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. That is what I currently have on my face, so if you want to see my thoughts and see how it worked, then just keep watching. So to start my foundation, I am going to go in with the Tatcha the Silk Canvas Primer. This stuff is amazing. It is so soft. It really does a good job of covering the pores. And as you can see, I've used quite a bit of it. I'm already hitting the pan. I love this. The only thing I don't like so much is the price tag, because it is definitely a pricier primer, but it is definitely worth every penny that you spend on it. So I'm just going to pat this into the skin. We are primed and ready to go in with my concealer to cover up some spots before we go in with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. I'm really excited to give this a try. It claims to be 24-hour matte finish. So I'm going to take some concealer and actually let me put my hair back so it stays out of the way. So I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Smashbox Studio Skin Concealer in the shade Light Neutral. And I usually like to mix this one with my Holy Grail concealer, which is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on as well. Now I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and blend it all out. Alright, so here is what the skin is looking like before going in with the foundation. As you can see, there's definitely still more for the foundation to cover. So let's see how matte it's really going to be. Usually I always will go in with a damp sponge to blend my foundation, but for the sake of this video I also want to test it with a brush, and this is the Zoeva 104 Buffer Brush. So I'm going to shake it up and pump a little bit on the back of my hand. Alright, the shade I got is Porcelain. So this website claimed that it is a fair shade with neutral undertones, which is what I need. So I'm going to do half the face with the damp sponge and half the face with the brush and see how it goes. Alright, so here is what one layer is looking like. As you can see, there definitely is a difference compared to this side of my face. So now let's take the brush and do this half. Alright, so here's what the half with the brush is looking like. And here's the half with the sponge. I feel like application-wise, they both did about the same. I usually really don't like using brushes for foundation, but this one, actually not the worst. I definitely think I could try to build up a little bit to cover, since this is a matte foundation and it claims to be full coverage, but so far I'm thinking it's not as full coverage as it's claiming. The shade may be a hair too light for me, but we'll make it work. So I think since this brush and sponge didn't really do much of a difference, so I'm just going to go back in with my sponge and try to build up. I'm going to take more of the product on the back of my hand and see how we can build. Alright. So I think that's all I want to do as far as coverage goes, because I can already see how this would get cakey if you do too much, and I'm very finicky with my foundations because they end up looking cakey very quickly on me. So I think that is the extent of what we're going to do for the foundation. Honestly, it doesn't really feel tacky. Feels pretty nice, actually. Let's see. I'm going to try to zoom you guys in a little bit. Overall, so far, my first impression of it is that it's not bad, and usually matte foundations do not work well with me, even though I do have oily skin. So far, so good. I'm debating on whether I really want to set this. I do think it is, I mean, it's pretty dry. I still think I'm probably going to set it just because that's what I always do. So I'm just going to lightly take the Too Faced Erythritol Setting Powder and lightly dust over my skin and just lightly set it. I don't want to put too much powder. So just take a very little bit. I'm just going to lightly dust it with a fluffy brush. Alright, so I think that is really the extent of the powder. Let's see. Alright, so the powder didn't really make it look too much worse. So far, so good. I think I'm actually liking this. Now I'm just going to go in with my Tarte Park Ave Princess Contour Palette. And I'm just going to bronze up the skin a little bit. And I think I'm going to use Princess Cut, which is this shade. I'm going to take that on a fluffy brush again, like I usually do. I'm not really contouring, I'm just trying to bronze. I think I went a little too heavy on this side, so I'm going to try to fix that with my regular powder brush in a second. Alright, so that is the skin so far. Now all I need to do is add my highlight, and I think we are good for the skin. So to highlight, I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty Killawatt Highlighter in the shades Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. So what I like to do is just mix both of these, a little bit on my brush, and highlight. And I'm taking it on the Zoeva 134 brush. Alright, so for the base, I think that is good. And let's just take another peek at how this looks up close. Overall, my first impression is that it actually looks pretty good. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I recently tried the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and that was so heavy on the skin, and it definitely looked pretty cakey on me. But this one so far, I'm not thinking looks like that. So first initial thoughts are that it actually looks really good, and actually the shade in person, it actually does match me pretty well. I think maybe it has darkened hair. Very little though. I don't think it's anything to be too concerned about. So here's another up close. And yeah, so I'll let you guys know how this holds up. Alright, so I have the rest of my face makeup on. I did my eyes for another video, and now I'm back to come and tell you guys what I think so far of the foundation. It has been on my skin for about half an hour, and I already have some more thoughts on it. I do think it looks a little drying on my skin. Let me show you guys up close. It is definitely not bad. Alright, so I'm checking in to do another update. It has been an hour since I've had the foundation on, and I'm actually really sad to say I think I'm going to be returning it. I know an hour seems really quick to make an assumption, but I know my skin very well, and I know what works and what doesn't. So I'm really sad because I was looking at my skin underneath my bathroom lighting, and it just looks so heavy and dry on my skin. I really don't know why. I didn't even put that much powder on. Like, I very, very lightly dusted powder over top, and in my normal foundation combination, the powder does not do this. I think with me, I really just can't do matte full coverage foundations. Every time I try them out, this is what happens. I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera very well, but all right here, it just looks so dry. So sad because I really wanted to like this foundation, especially for the price. It's $14.99. I think I'm gonna return it though because I just can't see myself wearing it, and I already kind of just want to take it off because I don't like the way it looks. And I know that the primer that I used is not the issue. I even added some setting spray, which I wasn't initially planning to do because I wanted to see how it wore by itself. I added setting spray to see if it would help kind of pick up some of the dryness, but it didn't. So yeah, I think that's my impression of this. It's going back. What can I say? And I do have oily skin, so that's why I'm surprised that matte foundations don't really work for me. But it seems that my foundation routine that works for me is more of like a dewy combination because it's a tinted moisturizer and a water foundation, and it works perfect on my skin. But this one didn't work, so that is my final thought. I'm not going to do any more check-ins because I've already made my mind up. And like I said, I know it seems hasty to make a decision after an hour, but I can tell right away when a foundation is not going to work for me, and this one just won't. So yeah, that's my final thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.